My name's Lucille Fisher, and welcome to MEMO Matters. I'm the host, and MEMO, as you probably know, stands for the Medfield Employers and Merchants Organization. And today we're going to be talking with Brian McSharry. He's the owner of Closet and Storage Concepts, and he is also the president of MEMO. So welcome, Brian.
Thank
How
you,
are
Lucille.
you?
I'm well, thank you.
Great to see you.
Thanks.
As always. So Brian, I've known you for a while, but I have no idea how you got into the business you're in. Why don't you tell me a little bit about it and how, how this evolved?
How far back do you want to go? I was in the restaurant industry for 23 years in California. Started as a kid. The company I was with was acquired by a New England-based company, which is what moved me out here. I was with them for 3 years. And when I left that company and industry, we decided we wanted to stay here to raise our kids here in Medfield. So I tried to figure out what to do as a next step. And I was working around the house, chipping away at that list of things that I could never get to, that needed to be done. And did a few of the projects around the house, and I really liked how that felt when I got those completed. Now, the restaurant industry has its own rewards, but it's a different feeling at the end of the day.
Right.
Doing those projects around the house gave me a kind of a sense of I did this with my hands accomplishment,
Right.
but I really liked, and I sort of planted a seed. If I could find something that gave me that kind of feeling at the end of the day, that would be okay. So that piece and a bunch of research and a little bit of dumb luck, ran across a gentleman who had operated a business like mine under this name for 15 years in southern New Jersey and was just starting the process of expanding. Now, I had been down that road with the restaurant brand, expanding from a small number of units to 220 when we were acquired and 400 and something when I left. So I had a little bit to offer him in terms of experience, and we came to an agreement that I would open one of his branches of this business, Closet and Storage Concepts, here in New England. So that allowed us to do the things that we wanted to do, gave me that feeling, put me back in a position. I started in the restaurant industry in a privately held company that was fairly small and regional. It grew to be a pretty good sized regional chain, was acquired by an international company based in the UK with pubs and inns and spirits and wine and all kinds of different industries. So I've worked in different scale businesses, different size, public and private, and I'm back in the spot, in the size and the scale and arrangement that works best for me.
So you've always been in a service industry. And basically now you're helping people get organized.
Yes, absolutely. Organization is a piece of it. The piece that we do is the efficient use of space. That's a component of organization. We work with professional organizers who work on the process side of getting organized, help you through deciding what you should keep and what you shouldn't and where it can go and those kinds of things. That the more process-oriented side of organization as a whole, and the part that we fill is the use of the space. Design, manufacturing, and installation of different systems in different parts of the home to help you do that.
So tell me, can you come into a house, existing home, and transform, it would be a space, a closet, or whatever, and can the owners be there?
We prefer that,
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, with existing homes and existing spaces that people are living in, we would come out and meet with the homeowners, measure the space so we know physically what the dimensions are, what kind of space we have to work with, what the intended use of the space is, whether it's just trying to maximize that use of space for the things that are already in there, or they're changing the use of the space or whatever, and then designing the configuration of the space to maximize that.
So is it just closets, or are you doing other things?
We do lots and lots and lots of closets.
Yeah.
But there are storage elements of most parts of your home, from garages to mudrooms, kitchen pantries, home offices, kids' playrooms, basements. Just about every room in the house has some component in it where storage is needed. And closets as the primary focus, but the storage in the other areas of the home are variations of very similar kinds of things.
So what kind of trends are you seeing? I mean, what are the things people are going for? The look or, the function that they're going for right now?
What I hear most frequently is I want to use every inch of the space.
Yeah.
So it's efficient use of space again.
Right.
Back to that. Sometimes people's expectations are a little beyond what is realistic, and what I tell people is that I can't create space that isn't already
Right.
there, but we can help you use the space that you do have as efficiently as possible.
Yes.
So people want to do that. There are aesthetics that go a lot of different directions. So there's two components. There's the physical design and layout that allows you to use a space a certain way with access and capacity and things like that. And then there's the aesthetic overlay, whether it's a different kind of finish or material, trim work, accessories, those kinds of things. So basic hanging and shelving we do every day, and we do lots and lots of it because that's most people's need. But we do have the opportunity to do some interesting projects that are a little larger in scale or a little more ornate or have more of an aesthetic overlay to them.
Now, tell me, am I wrong? Didn't you do a project for this old house?
We've done a couple. Yeah, we did one just recently in Charlestown.
Uh-huh.
We did one in Newton a few years back, and then we did another in New Hampshire, actually, that was in conjunction with Homes for Our Troops. That we've actually done 4 other homes for them, independent of this old house. So, yeah, that was a fun project. It was a complete gut of an old home in Charlestown, and it was a challenging space. They moved a wall, and there was a pitched roof line and a window and kind of a cramped space, but we got the most out of it. She was very happy.
So, so tell me a little bit more. So so it was a small space?
Yep.
Old,
it was,
I mean, just
it was
like
an old
an
home. Yeah, it was an old row house,
So
and it was.
there were no closets.
There were no closets to speak of. There was a small closet in the spare bedroom that we worked with with its current dimension. It was a reach-in closet. They had what they deemed a walk-in closet initially, but it was barely that. There really was not much room in it. You could step in it, but not much further than that. They actually moved the master bedroom wall to widen it about 2 feet, which allowed for access all the way to the other side. And that created one big tall wall that enabled us to put a significant amount of hanging clothes in for her, and then put the drawers and the shelves on the other side with the pitched roof line. And it worked out very well.
Oh, that sounds good. I could
Yeah, it
use
was a fun
one
project.
of those
Yeah.
in my house. So do you think that when you have like a custom closet that adds to the value of a home?
I think it does. There is some data that supports that from the real estate industry in terms of resales and also polling of what home buyers are looking for. I know just from my own experience working with builders over 14 years, especially in spec homes, we'll do the master closet in a number of the spec homes, and they won't do any other closet, but they'll do the master as a showpiece.
Right.
Not everybody can visualize what it can be. We'll do the plans for some builders and have the plans available in the empty space so people can see that this is what you can have, or this is what will come with it unless you want to customize it somehow. But when the economy got tight and the builders who had homes on the market, spec homes on the market, were sitting on them for a while, I got quite a number of calls from builders who wanted us to go ahead and do the master closet to differentiate those homes from the other homes, the other spec homes on the market. So those kinds of things tell me that yes, there is a difference, and there is some value to it in terms of the front end sale, the attractiveness to the buyer, and there is research behind it in terms of return on investment at the sale point, and they're both pretty good.
Yeah, well, I think every woman would love a nice walk-in closet.
I hate to generalize.
I know, and I agree, because I also think men would appreciate the space as well. So I agree. Men and women would love, more space and
Right. I don't
better
want to generalize,
organization.
but women tend to get the value of that earlier in the process.
Yeah.
So we have yet to run into we've had a number of situations where a husband and wife team had us out, and the woman really wanted to go forward with it, and the man, I really hate to do it this way, but that's the truth, it's our experience, so I have to say
It's
it.
okay.
And the guy would say, It's a closet. It's got a door on it. My stuff fits. It doesn't make any sense to me, but they'll go along with it to make her happy.
Yeah.
That's an odd spot for us to be in. It's a little bit awkward, but in every single circumstance where we've done that, and there have been quite a few, after we've done the installation and they've moved their stuff in, he gets it.
Yeah.
And we've had phone calls back saying, my favorite thing in the house. It's funny that it's that much of an extreme swing in perspective.
So it just takes them a little longer to get that.
Once it's in place and they can see, touch, and feel, then it's okay. Now it makes good sense to me. So it's a generalization, but it's based in truth.
Now, you've actually had clients who surprise people with closets. You would tell them
We
a little
have.
story.
Those are fun projects to do.
Yeah,
we've had a couple here in town, actually, and then we did one just recently in South Boston. A gentleman, his fiance lived on the Cape, and she was moving up to move in with him. They're getting married in a couple of months, and this is just before Valentine's Day. And she had talked in general about where am I going to put my stuff. And he had a nice three-bedroom townhome in South Boston, and unbeknownst to her, he called me because he works with a woman we had done work with before, and we met and designed a dressing room / walk-in closet out of one of the spare bedrooms. Really nice setup with a makeup table and a TV on the wall and a mirror thing, a dressing table thing. It was beautiful, and without any of her input, we went forward with that design, which makes me a little nervous.
See that.
But she came up the day before Valentine's Day to start moving things in, and he surprised her with that. And in the interim, she was wanting to gather information to start the process because it was something she had said she wanted. But we were in the process of already doing the work, and she was not aware of that. So I had to play dumb. He gave her my phone number. She called me to schedule an appointment to start the process, and I knew where we were with that. So I scheduled a fake appointment for the Monday following the day I knew she was going to come up and see it.
Funny.
So we spoke, scheduled the appointment, and then that Friday she texted me and said, "You're a great actor, and you're a better closet designer." So thank you very much.
That's
it worked out
the most
perfect.
important thing. Yeah.
That was fun.
The
That was
closet designer piece. Excellent.
That was a great project. I love doing that.
Great. So tell me about the process. What process do you go through when someone calls you in and wants you to design?
If we're working for a homeowner, then and they're living in the home, they would call us, and one of my designers or myself, we would come out and meet on site and measure the space. If they're currently living in the home and their wardrobe is accessible, either in the closet or nearby, we would take a quick inventory so that we know what types of clothing, how they like to store it, how much of each thing, how many pairs of shoes, what size they are, how wide a pair of shoes is, belts, ties, long dresses or not. So really a full inventory of the wardrobe, and then talk to them about their vision. Do they have some people have a very clear vision of how they want it to look and feel. Some people say, here's the space, what do I do? Right? And all points in between.
Yeah.
And so we'll have that conversation. We'll talk to them about what options are available. And then when possible, we'll sit and draw that right there and develop a design on site. That's less and less common today as people's time is at a premium. More often than not, we'll take all that information after perhaps an hour. We'll take it offline and we'll develop a design to meet those needs for that space or those spaces if there are several to measure, and then send them back a design and a proposal. Went house hunting all over the place and actually ended up finding a house that wasn't for sale yet. It's a long, boring story, but we accidentally moved to Medfield and couldn't be happier that we did.
Good fortune. So you live here, but the business is in Franklin,
Right.
but you have clients all over the place.
We service all of Eastern Massachusetts, all of Rhode Island, the Cape, the islands, southern New Hampshire. So my facility is in Franklin because it's a mile from 495, so logistically, we can get trucks on the road and get to downtown, we can get to the North Shore, we can get to the Cape relatively efficiently.
And Brian, how many people in total are there that work for you?
We have
now?
9.
You have 9 people.
Including my wife and myself.
Great.
We're in it full time. But yeah, we've got 4 or 5 people in production and installation, and we have 2 full-time designers. And then I work primarily with builders and architects, but I deal with individual clients that I've worked with over the years and their direct referrals. If it's at all important for them to meet with me, I'd be happy to do it, but the business isn't dependent upon me. It isn't Brian's Closet Company, it's all of us. And
Right,
so,
right.
And I have two very, very good designers, so it's helpful.
Yep. Yeah, a team always helps.
We've got a great group of people.
Yeah.
I'm so fortunate. We get people that call or send an email back saying, wonderful experience. Your installers were so courteous, and it's the people who actually physically install the closets that spend more time with our clients than the designers do, and they're more often than not the last impression that people have of their experience with our company, and they get it. I mean, they're very easygoing, very personable people, and conscientious, and so it carries all the way through. It's from the first voice you hear on the phone when you call,
absolutely,
to how well we clean up when we're done installing the closet.
Right, the whole experience.
Yeah.
And what I've often like to, I have a sign at home that says, team, and then together everyone achieves more.
Yep.
And it's so true.
Synergy, no question.
Synergy. So now you're the president of MEMO. And
for a couple more months,
for a couple more months. So that's adding another element onto.
Yeah, I've been a MEMO member for a number of years, and then joined the board a few years back. And in fact, I think it was you that asked me if I would consider being president this year. And yes, I mean, community involvement is big, and it's a great organization of like-minded business people who want nothing more than continue to make Medfield a great place to live and do business.
Right.
And I mean, how can you fault that, right? And a lot of people, a lot of energy, doing a lot of good things. And so, yeah, happy to be involved. And we'll continue to be a MEMO member for as far out as I can see anyway. No reason not to.
Great. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time today to come and talk to us about your business, closet and storage concepts. And I'll see you at the next meeting.
I'll be there.
And I want to thank everyone for watching today. This segment of MEMO Matters. Thanks so much. Take care.